Hello, everybody. Welcome to another KMU Live Pod. I'm your host, Rick Kitchabruggy, here in Salina, Kansas, and joining me down there in Southwest Kansas is Derek Rutherford. How you doing, Derek? You went mute all of a sudden. You're muted.
My bad. Yeah, I muted before. I was coughing before I hit go live. Um, I'm sick.
Uh-oh.
My kids brought home. So they started going to school like a week and a half ago, like everybody else, and they brought home a bug, and they both stayed home Thursday and Friday. And then I went to work Monday, and pretty much all day I could kind of feel it coming on. I went home about an hour early, and I've been sitting in my house since Monday around 4 o'clock. I haven't really left at all.
Wow.
Just luckily, like no fever, nothing crazy. It's just head cold. I heard it might be strep throat, but I did have my throat has hurt for a while. It's starting to feel a little better, but just been kind of sick as a dog for the past 2 days, and I'm over it, man.
Wow. Yeah, been a hectic day today for me, running my daughter to her appointments, and I had to get my hearing aid fixed and my right one. Yeah, just running all over today, trying to get ready for this inspection from my property owner because apparently they're trying to sell the property. So I don't know.
The your hearing aid, like what does it entail? Where do you go to get that fixed at? Like same
The
day.
place, the place I got it from, Hearing Healthcare Salina. What it was is there's this little, it sits over my ear, and then there's another little plastic that loops around that sits in my ear to hold the hearing aid firmly in place, and that broke off.
Okay.
So their phone system, I don't know what their phone system's all about, but it was driving me nuts. But I finally got him on the line, told him what was going on, and he said, "We'll be closed in 15 minutes. Can you get down here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can get down." And I got down there with 5 minutes to spare because they're not that far from me. So
How long have
um,
you had hearing aids?
since 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Are you pretty useless without them? You can't really hear anything.
It's getting worse, I can tell, because after I take them out, it sounds like I got cotton shoved in my ear.
I have a good friend in Elkhart who's a little older. He's a buddy's dad, and I was at a my kids were getting their haircut in Elkhart about a year ago, and I was just sitting there having a conversation with him, and everything was fine. And then he went up to get his haircut, and I asked him a question, and I was right by him, and it was like he was ignoring me. And the lady cutting his hair, she's like, he took his hearing aids out. He can't hear a word you're saying. And I was like, oh, and I didn't see him take them out, but I kind of realized like without those hearing aids, a lot of people they're out of the conversation completely unless they
Right.
can read lips or something.
Right. Everybody, please be sure you're sharing the show out there and telling everybody about us because I'm seeing from what I'm seeing, we only got 3 people watching so far. So I hope we
Yeah,
can get some more folks in here.
it looks like haven't seen any error messages. It's just
Yeah.
well, what it
That's
is Taylor
ridiculous.
Swift and Travis Kelsey got engaged, so everybody's
No,
busy
yeah, I saw that and I saw
watching that. But we got Christopher and Esther here. They are longtime staples of this show, always supporting. We got
Yes.
a lot of
Grateful,
people that are
thankful
here
for
all
that.
the time. You last week Friday we had a show, and you announced
Yeah.
that you were going to have a procedure done in October.
Yep.
Before the show, you were telling me you're actually going to have a little bit of work done in September, and then you also have an event that you should probably
Yeah.
tell people about.
Yeah, I have to have a heart catheter done on October 4th. I'm not sure exactly what, I mean, I know they're going to inject dye into me and stuff, so I'll be sedated for it. So I don't know exactly what they're going to get a look at, but they're going to get a look at something, I guess. And then I have a follow up on that on the 18th. But yeah, I had a lady reach out to me on my messenger. She works at a Spangles out of town. Like I think it was Hutcher McPherson. I don't remember which one now. But asked me if it was okay if she started a fundraiser here at one of the local Spangles because I guess she comes up here from time to time. And I said, yeah, I'm fine with that. I said my daughter works out at the one at the South End, and she said maybe we could team up. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure she'd do that. And so it's official that they are going to do a fundraiser for me on September 9th from 5 to 8. Um, said 20% of everything of all their sales that day will donate to me. Plus, they're allowing us to do donation jars at the drive-through and at the front counter as well. So everything we take in those 3 hours in those jars will come to me as well. So I have to work that day, but I'm going to see if I can take an extended lunch and go over there for a bit and hang out for a bit. But I'm really grateful that's going on too. The GoFundMe is taking off. It's up to a little over $1,300 now, so it's getting there. I'd like to see it move some more. It hasn't moved all day,
Yeah.
so I mean it moved this morning, and somebody donated 100 this morning, so it brought it to 1310. But other than that, it's been sitting still. So I'm hoping that'll pick up again because, like I said, this it's going to be entirely used to help cover living expenses, bills, food,
Yeah.
and what medical expenses I can chip away at and stuff like that while I'm recovering. Because they said I'll be in ICU for about a week after the surgery, and then at home for a couple months recuperating. So a little over 2 months, depending on and hopefully there won't be any issues or complications. But it could. Yeah, I'm just assuming that if there were any, it might take a little bit longer, but I don't know. But I just want to have that peace of mind knowing that while I'm home recouping, I don't have to worry about money. So that's why I started the GoFundMe because I want to be able to make sure we're going to be taken care of during that time. I
Now,
did I did check into disability yesterday, and they don't do short term. It's only long term. And the other thing I was worried about was how long it would take to process. And she said it's still taking up to 10 months to process. So disability is pretty much a no go at all. Because by the time it would process in up to 10 months, I'm already going to be back to work and working again. So disability is completely out.
whenever like obviously you have family history and you get your checkups and stuff, like I know they're going to go in there and do some valve work for you.
Yeah.
What symptoms do you feel right now? Like what is it how can you tell just that there's something going on with your ticker?
Honestly, I didn't really feel any. I was surprised to hear all of that when they told me. I was like, "Excuse me, I have what going on?"
Wow.
But yeah, I didn't realize I had all that going on. I mean, like I said, they're going to put the metal valve in the aorta, then they're going to repair and that's to take care of a small aneurysm, and then they're
Yeah.
going to repair what they call the aortic leaflets, which are actually three like flaps that open and close every time your heart beats, and that close that valve so the blood doesn't leak back up into the aorta after it pumps it out.
Yeah.
Two of mine are fused together, and they're I guess stuck open from what they tell me. So those have to be fixed. And then they said something about maybe having to replace my aortic root. I have to do some more research on that. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. There's so much other stuff going on, but
Yeah.
may have to take a look at that too. So
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking if they get you all patched up and basically turn you into Robo Ricky, uh, I'm wondering if you're gonna have like more. You just feel better, like more energy. Maybe who
that's
knows?
what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm
Yeah,
hoping for. I'm hoping that's going to help fix some problems. It'll hopefully help keep me around a whole lot longer.
yeah, yeah.
But
Well,
ultimately, that's up to God to decide, not me. But I'm hoping
true.
for the best.
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer that you know, God is in control. But I
Mhm.
think that God also put doctors and books and people that know.
Right.
I think God put everybody here. So I think to deny like some surgeon the right to try to make you live longer is silly.
Yeah.
I think God made sure that person knows what the heck they're doing, man, so they can crack
Yeah.
you open and get you going. And you have a lot more to do with your mission here on Earth.
Yeah. And that was another thing he told me with this kind of a surgery. They can't just go up through the vein and do it. They have to actually go through my rib cage and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be a pretty sore little guy for a while.
Yeah, that's I think most people. I was talking to Stephanie. I was like, whenever you think about like open heart surgery where they crack your chest, does it give you the heebie-jeebies? And she couldn't even answer. She's like, yeah, that's gross. Just the thought of
Yeah.
them just like cracking your. It's a freaky thing. Like, and you're not gonna know what's happening. You're gonna be
No.
sleeping, but
Yeah.
it's just a weird. It's a weird thing. I don't think any human likes the idea of somebody stopping your heart and opening. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah. That was another thing that freaked me out. Was telling me that they're gonna have me hooked up with machines to keep my lungs going and my other body functions going while they do stop my heart to work on it. So I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty wild stuff, man. I think your best bet is to just
yeah,
spend time with your family, try to be stress free, and try to stay out of that whole process. Because I love you, Rick, but you don't know how to do open heart surgery, so you shouldn't try to help. Just let them do
Yeah.
what they're doing, man.
Oh yeah. I put my faith in God on that, and I'm trusting them to,
Yep.
trusting them to get it done, and trusting God to guide their hands to get it done. So.
Yep, God, and then the people He has down there working on you. Just let them
Mhm.
do what they do, and I think you'll be here to do more shows. But we'll go ahead and get the show
Sure.
started.
Let's do it.
GoFundMe is going across the bottom of the screen. Please
Yeah.
go throw a few bucks in there for Ricky. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this with some cold cases.
Okay. And we're going to get started here with Lori Heimer. It's an unsolved homicide from June 25th, 2016, down in this area, which is part of Saline County where I'm at. Lori Heimer was brutally murdered. She was stabbed to death in her rural area, Kansas home on June 25th, 2016. Lori ran her business, Lori's Poodle Patch, from her home. She was a licensed breeder of miniature-sized poodles and was licensed through the state of Kansas. Kansas Bureau of Investigation was contacted to assist Saline County sheriffs in the investigation. They responded with agents and their crime scene response team, and during the investigation, two vehicles of interest were developed. Vehicle one was said to be an older flatbed pickup truck, possibly a Chevrolet, which is described as beat up, maroon in color, with a white front bumper, silver grille, and wide style side mirrors. The driver was described as a man who was 50 years of age or older with salt and pepper hair. Vehicle number two was an older style small pickup truck, possibly a Chevy S10, with a two-tone paint job, dark blue along the top and bottom with light blue down the middle, a silver back bumper, a newer blue tailgate that appeared to have minimal damage when compared to the body of the truck. The remainder of the vehicle is described as beat up and scratched up. There may have been two animal cages or crates in the back. The driver of this second vehicle was described as a white male, approximately 40 years of age, with shoulder-length hair and wearing glasses. Investigators have said they would like to locate these two vehicles. They'd also like to speak to anyone who had any contact or a business appointment with Lori at any time between June 20th and 25th, 2016. If you have any information regarding the homicide of Lori J. Heimer, please call the Saline County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-826-6500, or you can call KBI at 1-800-572-7463. There is a reward of $37,500 being offered for information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Lori's murder. So if anybody has any information at all, please get that called in and see what we can do to help bring some justice to Lori and her family and friends.
Quite a
Yep.
few dollar bills there on that reward.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Ellen Dotson's in the house now.
Nice. That documentary I made about you a few months ago, the
Yeah.
Lori Heimer part, I feel like is, I hate to say favorite part because it's a dark documentary, but like I think that part there is it really hits with me because you tell the story, and right as you're done telling the story, I turn the camera real quick and it's just a quick shot of the house, and
Yeah.
it's it's easy with all the true crime out there and people read about it and stuff. It's really easy to kind of separate yourself, and you're like just telling me about this thing about the Toffel, but you drive by the house and you're just like, oh, that really happened, man. Like that really transpired right there. That is just a
Mhm.
lot of evil, a lot of
Right.
evil that's not good at all.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy stuff out there. I just hope at some point they can hold somebody accountable for that.
Yeah.
And this one is Susan Tolan. I just did this one recently. She's missing from Wichita, Kansas since June 25th, 2025. 51 years old, 5'10", 130 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. She has a tattoo on the back of her left hand wrist, starts on the back of her hand and goes up past the wrist a little bit. She weighs 100, let's see, and she also has a tattoo on her upper left arm. Sorry about that. If you have any information regarding Susan's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011. or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to get Susan located and back to where she needs to be.
Have you had this flyer for a little while, or is it newer? Or?
It's a new one. I just did it a couple days ago. So,
Oh. I
yeah.
always wonder, like, because she disappeared a little while ago. I always wonder, like, did you just like stumble across it, or?
It was actually Annette Lawless that did a post on it. And so I thought, you know what, I'll get a flyer going to help out.
Well, I think my point is, like, I think, like, so it says here she's missing since June 25th.
Yeah.
But I think in some cases, like, people, especially somebody who's like 50, 51, they're a grown up. They can come and go as they please. I think in some cases it takes people a while to figure out that their loved one's missing, and then they have to think back to like when the last time they saw him. Like
Right.
somebody that's in their 50s, if you don't hear from them for a few weeks, like they're in their 50s. Like I think most people be like, I think maybe they just, especially if they kind of come and go as they please and do whatever they want. Like I'm just wondering, like, was this girl reported missing on June 25th, or was it something where it took a while to realize that nobody had talked to her for a while?
That's what I'm wondering, because when I looked her up on KBI, it said July 25th. So, but it's being reported elsewhere June 25th. So I'm trying to figure that one out myself.
Yeah. Well, I just looked at how long ago it was, and I was like, I haven't seen this flyer before. It must be new. And I just got to thinking, like, I wonder what, maybe she wasn't considered missing until, maybe it took a while to realize she was missing, basically. I don't know, though.
Yeah. This is Haley Davis, and we talk about her just about every week. And I do that for her family because I know they really want her to be found and brought home. She's missing from here in Salina, Kansas, July 21st, 2023. 19 when she was missing. She's now 21. 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. Haley left Salina, Kansas with a male acquaintance to go to Wichita, Kansas. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st of 2023. Wichita police say the investigation has led them to believe that Haley may be deceased. And at the time of her disappearance, Haley was 19. She's now 21. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde, and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance, you know her whereabouts or the location of her remains, please call Detective Owen at 316-268-4185, or you can email at aowen@wichita.gov. To remain anonymous, you can call Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, or 1-800-572-7463. Or you can scan that Crime Stoppers QR code down there in the Crime Stoppers banner, and that'll take you to a form on the website where you can submit a tip that way as well. And see what we can do to get Haley located and back to where she needs to be. And if anybody's wondering why she's missing from here, the Wichita police are the ones investigating. Salina police was investigating it, and my understanding is they felt like they've done all they can do, so it was turned over to the Wichita police since she was last believed to be going to Wichita. So they've taken it over, and they're the one, like I said, that's in the flyer. It says that they believe she may no longer be deceased, and that's why in the end of it, I added the location of her remains, because in their post on their Facebook page asking for information on Haley's case, they actually phrased it that way. So figured I'd stay consistent with what they posted as well. So
yeah,
it's
well,
sad that
there's obviously like human trafficking, and you hear of people that are like locked up somewhere, but like when people are missing for so long, you got to start asking, like, where are they? Are they just sitting somewhere? Like, are they being held hostage for this long? Like it's been a while that there's a crazy circumstances regarding her disappearance, so I can see why the police say that. As far as Crime Stoppers go, I wanted to say to anybody out there that knows something and they're afraid to talk, I've called Crime Stoppers before, and how it works is they ask you to give them the tip, and then the only way they ask you for your name and number or information is if you want access to the reward. Obviously, they can't take a tip from an anonymous source, and they don't know who you are. they don't know where to send the money. So, but you do have that option if you call Crime Stoppers and no amount of money is worth your name being involved or tied to a situation. You can just politely decline to give them your name and number at the end, and they will still take your tip and investigate it. So, calling Crime Stoppers is the best way to call in a tip if you do not want to be involved in it whatsoever.
Awesome.
Name and number.
Oops.
You're good.
I have my phone going here for a minute. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. And this is a new one too that I just did here recently too. Crystal. I don't know if it's Collade or Collade or what it is exactly. So if I apologize if I mispronounced it one way or the other. But she's missing from Mays, Kansas since August 21st, 2025. 39 years old, 5'1", 200 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. She was last seen in Wichita, Kansas, and her gray 2014 Kia is also missing, pictured above. I'm not sure which model of Kia that is. If you have any information regarding Crystal's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Mays, Kansas Police Department at 316-722-1433 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see what we can do to help get Crystal located and back to where she needs to be.
I've heard of Maze. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, let's see. Scott Messerschmitt's in the house. Hello, Aurelia, my younger daughter.
What was her comment? She said, "Hey, make sure your door's
Hi,
shut."
Dad. Yeah, she said hi, Dad. Remember, everybody, keep sharing the show out there. Let's get some folks in here.
Ricky's kiddos are watching.
Yeah,
because they're together.
Yep, they're sitting out in the living room out there. And this is one I just did today, actually. This is Robert Williams. His family calls him Robbie. Missing from Wichita, Kansas since August 8th of this year. He is 35 years old, 5'8", 150 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He left without a cell phone, his car, or his identification. He does suffer from mental health issues. Again, he's 35, 5'8", weighs 150 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Robert's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-268-4181 or 316-268-4111 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Robert located back to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Yikes.
The mental health issues and then abandoning the cell phone and ID and stuff. That's always scary. If anybody sees this guy, call the cops. Call these numbers. Get this guy somewhere where he can be with some loved ones. And that's a scary place to be. It's a scary predicament to be in when you're literally pushing everything away. So
right. Definitely.
That might not be the case. Maybe he was forgetful and he forgot all of his stuff, but those are definitely very scary signs for sure.
Okay. I guess my older daughter went to bed for the night. She was tired. She's waving at me. All right. And this one's Nellie Mae Hubbard. Another unsolved homicide from here in town. Back on March 14th, 1981. Her murder still unsolved after 44 years. It happened on March 14th, 1981, as we said. Nellie was found deceased in her residence at 1008 East Elm Street on the cot she slept on in her living room. She was covered with a sheet, and the scarf she usually wore was found on the floor. Nellie put up a struggle during her attack. Ultimately, she died of asphyxiation. She also suffered 8 broken ribs. One was broken in 2 places. She also had a broken bone in her throat. She also had an injury to the back of her skull. She also had bruises on her arms, and there was evidence of other internal injuries. Upon searching Nellie's home, investigators found $93,000 in cash and over $100,000 in certificates of deposits and a large quantity of silver coins dating back to 1886. Investigators also discovered that Nellie's home was filled with miscellaneous household items, trash, and other clutter that made 2 bedrooms completely unusable. Nellie Mae Hubbard deserves to be able to rest in peace. So let's please help bring her killer to justice. If you have any information on her homicide, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210. Or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477. Or text SA Tips to Crimes, which is 274-637. Or you can go to www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip that way. Or you can call the KBI at 1-800-572-7463 and see what we can do to get some justice for Nellie and her family. Still in search of a better photo of her for the flyer. Of course, we talked about before, the cigarette lighter was believed to be the perpetrator's lighter. It was found underneath Nellie's body when they rolled her over. So hopefully somebody will recognize that and recall who may have had that particular type of lighter in 1981 and let the authorities know that as well. And see what we can do to get some justice for her.
So there was a couple of houses on the documentary I made about you a few months ago that we did not show the actual house, and that's because you had known through the grapevine like that it just wasn't something that the current owners is this one of the ones that we didn't show for that reason?
That's one of them. Because as you were mentioning, the owners that live there now don't like their house being shown and associated with that. But
yeah.
So it is what it is, and they're not going to be able to completely get away from it.
Yeah. But we did honor that. We didn't show the house. But my thing is, I was going to ask, like, as a novice, journalist, like, I don't know what the rules are. So I know that you cannot call any type of law enforcement that's on duty and ask them to tell you anything that they remember about that day. But I think that if somebody's retired, they can kind of talk, right? Because I would just be the only thing I'm curious about. I would like to talk because this is so long ago. I wasn't even born yet. This is 43 years ago. The only thing I'm curious about is how hidden was the 93,000 in cash and the 100,000 in bond. Like, how hidden was it? Because to leave that, I mean, I understand not taking maybe the deposits and the bonds because that's harder. You can trace that, but like cash.
My understanding was it was found in tin cans throughout the house, so it wasn't all together in one big lump. It was in small tin cans hidden and stashed throughout the house.
So there is a chance that maybe she had several more tin cans, and whoever did this just took a hand. Because if you think about it, tin cans full of this kind of stuff, a couple of those cans back in 81 will get you pretty far down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just interesting that, there's a lot of times crimes of passion where there's nothing stolen. But when it's just like they're saying, just like cans of cash laying around, it's like, if you're going to do something crazy, like take a human's life, why not spend the extra few minutes and just get rich on your way out? It's kind of weird.
Queenie, how you doing? Yeah, they were. I know at one point during Nellie's investigation, they even talked to. There was a couple of guys that were going around. There were serial killers, Ottis Toole and Henry Lee Lucas, and they had questioned Ottis Toole about Nellie's death because apparently he was claiming they were in this area at that time, and claimed another victim. And I can't remember where they said they'd supposedly dumped a victim, but there was never a report of a body being found and where they said they dumped him. So eventually, I guess they investigated to question him and found that and decided he was just full of crap. So anyway, that was an interesting little twist in Nellie's case that brought us some national attention for a little bit. And this one is as they refer to it, the Dolly Madison murders. And this was over in Great Bend, Kansas, back on September 4th, 2002. Okay, at approximately 7:55 p.m., Great Bend, Kansas Police Department responded to a call at Dolly Madison Bakery at 1004 Harrison, Great Bend, Kansas. Upon arrival, officers found two deceased females, victims of an apparent double homicide. Police have never said how the women died. Delivery truck driver who found the bodies said that they were located in a back office. A witness described seeing a white male approximately 6'1" to 6'2", weighing 175 pounds, having collar-length light brown to blonde hair and a slight beard, walking away from the front door of the bakery. A murder weapon was never found, and no suspects had been arrested. Officials are also are not sure of a motive for the murders, although some money from the store was missing at that point at that night. On September 6, 2022, KBI and Great Bend, Kansas Police Department, as a result of this new testing, male DNA was discovered on a sample collected from the body of one of the victims. KBI agents and detectives from the Great Bend Police Department have collected numerous DNA samples for comparison to the DNA discovered and will continue with these efforts. If you have any information on this crime, please call the Great Bend, Kansas Police Department at 620-793-4120. The Barton County Sheriff's Department at 620-793-1876, or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463. And there is a $17,000 reward available for information leading to the arrest and conviction of Mandy Alexander and Mary Drake, their murder. You can see Mandy Alexander on the left and Mary Drake on the right. Mandy was the employee working that day, and Mary just happened to be in there shopping at that time. So, and you can see the suspect composite there and shot of the front of the bakery, which I'm told it's not a bakery anymore. It's another business now. I can't remember what it is, but it's not a bakery anymore.
Yeah.
So
there's also that documentary that's pretty much all over the place, but it started out on Tubi. The Dolly Madison murders.
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
It was a good documentary, that's for sure.
Yeah. Who knows? All right, we're gonna talk about some more stuff. We'll be right back after this. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
Okay, now we're into some missing teens now. And this one is Anthony. I think it's Badillo. I'm going to go with Badillo. Missing from Lenexa, Kansas since August 13, 2025. He's 15, 6'1", 190 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. He's been missing about 11:30 that morning. He's believed to have left his residence near West 99th Street and Rose Hill Road in Lenexa at that time. And he's 15, approximately 6'1", 190 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Last known to be wearing all black clothing and black Crocs. He's also known to wear a silver necklace with a cross and a silver chain, and there's a couple photos of him up there. If you have any information regarding Anthony's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Call the next Kansas Police Department at 913-477-7301 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Anthony located and back to where he needs to be.
Too young.
Yeah. We've covered her before, but I wanted to cover her again because she's still out there somewhere. Rihanna Greer, missing from Iola, Kansas since July 26, 2025. She's 17 years old, 5 foot tall, 90 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. It's believed that she may still be in the local Iola area, or she may be in the Wichita, Kansas area. And she's 17 years old, 5 foot tall, 90 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. If you have any information regarding Rihanna's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Allen County, Kansas 911 Communications Center at 620-365-1437 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Rihanna located and back to where she needs to be.
And a lot of we have low numbers tonight. We've had some pretty good weeks. If you're a Facebook viewer, Facebook does have issues showing people when we're live. If you go over to YouTube and just look for Ricky's page here, Ricky Jabruggi - Kansas Missing and Unsolved, and you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, your phone will actually notify you every time Ricky goes live, which is every Wednesday at 8:05. So YouTube's probably the most reliable place if you do want to get a notification and know when we're live.
Yeah, yeah. I've had people in recent weeks here in the past say that they're not getting the notifications on Facebook. So, yeah, YouTube would be the most reliable way to go about it. I do have to agree with that. And this is Tess Jance. It's been a while since we covered her, but she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since December 3rd of last year. 16 years old, 5'1", weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, blonde hair, hazel eyes. Don't have much more than that. If you have any information regarding Tessa's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Tess located and back to where she needs to be.
Not good.
Yeah. This is Ilea Brownlee. And where is she hiding in my list here? There she is, missing from Wichita, Kansas also since August 1st of this year. 14 years old, 5'1", 96 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen in the 7000 block of East 37th Street, north in Wichita. And she's 14, 5'1", 96 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last known to be wearing an orange shirt and black leggings. If you have any information regarding Zylea's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call 911 immediately. Or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-263-6011 or 316-660-9254 or 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Zylea located and back to where she needs to be.
It's a really cool name, Xylea.
Yeah. And this is a newer one that I just did here recently. And come to find out with this young lady, she was actually a kinship placement with one of my cousins down in Wichita. Dariana Pruitt, missing from Andover, Kansas since August 17, 2025. She's 16, 5'4", 160 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that information. If you have any information regarding Dariana's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Andover, Kansas Police Department at 316-733-1700 or the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And see what we can do to get Dariana located and back to where she needs to be. It looks like she's got a dangly piercing on the left side of her nose. Looks to be.
I am digging the hair. I think the hair looks rad.
Yeah. Yeah, we got Brina Wilson in the house. How you doing, Brina?
Hey, Brina. She follows. She was always watching when we were on my channel. Now we're always on your channel. So.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, we got a couple more runaway teens here, and then we got some out-of-state cases for you.
And this one I just did tonight too. Lavea Williams, missing from Wichita, Kansas since August 26, 2025. 17 years old, 5'8", 120 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Don't have much more than that, but if you have any information regarding Lavea's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or 316-660-9254 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See what we can do to get Lavea located and back to where she needs to be.
Lavea.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've covered her, so I wanted to cover her again tonight as well. I haven't done a lot of new ones recently, and I need to do more, but I've just been so busy with, like I was mentioning earlier, getting this apartment ready for a potential buyer, which they never did show up in my apartment. They were in the floor above me and below me, but not my floor. And, dealing with, my daughter's appointments and course, stuff going on with my heart issue and stuff. So I'm trying to do the best I can. So just bear with me. But anyway, this is Hillary Hillibert, missing from Kansas City, Kansas since July 20th, 2025. She's 16, 5'7" to 5'8", weighs 130 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She does have nose piercings. If you have any information regarding Hillary's disappearance, you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Hillary located and back to where she needs to be.
All right, we got some out-of-state cases to get to. You're watching Kansas Mexican Unsolved Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
All right. And this one is Dana Jane Bruce. She is missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th, 2008. 23 when she was missing. She's now 40, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the remainder of the night. She was last seen at Malone's Bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar and he never saw her after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she does not have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And when she went missing, she was 23. She would now be 40, 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair that was colored brown at the roots, black at the ends with red highlights, and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel in silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She is blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or toll free at 866-362-6422 or you can call private investigator Leslie at 910-427-0070. See what we can do to get Dana located and back home to her family because there's another one been missing for 17 years almost. And I know her family would love to have her found and brought home.
Yeah.
So let's see what we can do to make that happen.
Long time.
Yep. And Sunny Joe Ceramic. I figured we'd do her again this week because I hadn't covered her for a long time. We did Friday, and I figured, let's do it again. Sunny Joe Ceramic's missing from Trenton, Nebraska since April 20th, 2019. 18 when she went missing. She's now 24. 5'8", 183 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. She left with a male acquaintance in a white 2004 Ford Explorer with the Iowa license plate number HGJ341, allegedly en route to Omaha, Nebraska, 300 miles away. They planned to pick up his niece there. Sunny called her mother from a borrowed phone at 12:45 p.m. and said she was in Holdridge, Nebraska. She didn't indicate anything was wrong. Her family has never heard from her again. The acquaintance has told multiple stories about Sunny's disappearance. According to one of his accounts, they went to the Prairie Flower Casino in Carter Lake, Iowa between 9 and midnight. He went inside the casino. Sunny couldn't go with him because she was underage. He said when he returned to the vehicle, Sunny was gone. He stated that he looked around the area for her, couldn't find her, so he simply left without informing police or anyone else that she was missing. Later, he changed the story and said Sonny disappeared when they stopped at an unspecified Omaha gas station to refuel. He said he went inside to pay for the gas, and when he came back, she was gone. As with the casino story, he said he left without informing anyone that Sonny was missing. Sonny has a tattoo of a tribal sun in red ink on her right ankle and a tattoo of a feather with the word fly on her left shoulder. She had cuts on her arm at the time of her disappearance. Sonny has multiple scars on her body, including a rectangular scar on the back of her right shoulder, a small square scar in the center of her forehead, chickenpox scars on her face, scars on her shin and ankle from a bike accident, and a scar on her left hand at the base of her thumb and forefinger. Sonny left wearing a black tank top and denim shorts. She was also carrying a hooded sweatshirt and a pair of jeans. If you have any information regarding Sonny's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Hitchcock County, Nebraska Sheriff's Office at 308-334-5444 or the FBI at 402-493-8688 and see what we can do to get Sonny located and back home to her family. It's been over 6 years now. So see what we can do to help that out. And Ellen, you're very welcome. And we've talked about her case before, Mariah Coxshell, but I wanted to cover her again because I added 2 new photos at the bottom with glasses there. Okay. But Mariah Lee Coxshell, she's missing from Gladstone, Missouri since March 21st, 2025. She's 26 years old, 5'1", 150 pounds, black hair, hazel eyes. Her last known location was in the area of 54th and Prospect around 2 a.m. on March 22nd, 2025. She was reported missing on the 24th of March, 2025. Again, she's 26, 5'1", weighs 150 pounds, has black hair, hazel eyes, and it looks like she does wear glasses sometimes. And at the time of her disappearance, she was reported to have been wearing a pink sweatshirt and black scrub pants. If you have any information regarding Mariah's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Gladstone, Missouri Police Department at 816-436-3550 or the tips line at 816-474-8477 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or 866-362-6422. Or you can scan that Say It Here QR code in the Crime Stoppers banner down there, and that'll take you to the form on the website that you can fill your information out in and get it submitted that way anonymously. And see what we can do to get Mariah located and back to her family.
I think that's all you have loaded up for the night, man.
I think that was it. So I was kind of struggling to get cases in there tonight because it just hasn't. I updated a lot to Located Safe today. I know I did. And one to Located Deceased, Jay Shoemate, who we have covered in the past. I'll pop his flyer up here real quick so you can see that. I just got an update on that from his family member last night. She sent me a screenshot or a link to a Net Lawless post about it to give me the details, but we had covered him before. I'm looking for his flyer here. Where are you, Jay? There you are, Jay.
I saw you had made a Located Deceased.
Yeah, it was.
But a lot of Located Safes also.
I was going to go over the details of his Located Deceased, but I want to get his flyer up there so everybody can kind of see it here and put a face to the name because we have covered him before. But it has been a while.
Is Annette still doing everything on her own right now?
She is actually, I guess she's in the studio with KWCH now. So, but she is doing a podcast now too. Cool. So, but anyway, Neosho County Sheriff's Office put out a release yesterday afternoon that kind of chronicled Jay's case, and it said on Sunday, January 17, 2016, at approximately 7:01 p.m., Neosho County E911 Center received a report of an elderly woman sitting in the passenger side of a pickup truck parked at a local business in Erie, Kansas. The reporting party advised the woman had been in the parked truck since approximately 10 a.m. that day. The Erie Police Department was dispatched to the business to check on the woman's welfare. The woman told the officer that her son was going to a sports thing and did not want her to go and left her in the vehicle around 10 a.m. Woman advised her that her son, Jay Shoemate, had left walking in an unknown direction. The Erie, Kansas Police Department officer took the woman home to her residence in Erie as she was unable to drive herself. On January 21st, 2016, the Erie Police Department at the Neosho County Sheriff's Office, as the Neosho County Sheriff's, good, I think that's supposed to be at Erie Police Department as the Neosho. Anyway, to assist with a search of the surrounding area of Erie, according to the Erie Police Department, Jay Shoemate, who was 60 at the time, had not returned home. It was reported that Mr. Shoemate would frequently walk along US 59 or Main Street south from the to the Neosho River. On January 22nd, 2016, a large church consisting of community volunteers, law enforcement, and volunteer firemen searched the surrounding snow-covered sections of land with an emphasis on searching the area between Erie and the Neosho River. Search was conducted with individuals on foot, ATVs, horseback, and aircraft. The search was unsuccessful. At the time, there were a couple of alleged possible sightings of Mr. Shoemate, one claiming to have seen someone similar hitchhiking on US 69 near Pittsburgh. The Erie Police Department investigation into Mr. Shoemate's disappearance was unsuccessful. Since that time, the Neosho River has flooded a few times. On February 13, 2023, the sheriff's office received a report of a human skull that had been found the previous day by people looking for deer antler sheds. Investigators collected the skull and were taken to the location of its discovery. The area is prone to flooding from the river. Investigators searched for any other remains or clothing, and a large area around the skull was found. This search yielded nothing. The skull was taken to the Washburn University Forensic Anthropology Lab for testing. The testing estimated that the skull was likely from a male. The sheriff's office requested assistance from the KBI with the investigation. Familial DNA samples were collected from a member of the Shoemate family. DNA profiles were sent to PTC laboratories in Texas. Yesterday, August 25th, actually it's 2 days ago now, 2025, the sheriff's office received a DNA analysis confirming that the skull is the remains of Jay Shoemate, cause of death unknown. Sheriff's office investigator has notified the next of kin and assigned Greg Taylor, the sheriff of Neosho County Sheriff's Office. So, sad to see that he was located deceased, but glad that his family has knowledge of where he is now and can have, some form of closure. And my parent condolences go out to them in their time of grief. So that resolves about a 9.5-year-old case, a little over 9.5-year-old case.
Nobody wants to hear about it. Nobody wants to have a death in the family, but if you haven't seen your loved one for a long time, sometimes that's a consolation. At least you know where they are.
Yeah, and I was kind of in my mind when I was reading that earlier today, was kind of making some parallels between his remains, his skull being found and Kenny Rychek's skull being found and found by hunters, although different things. Kenny's morel mushrooms, their deer antler sheds. But I mean, still found pretty similar circumstances anyway. And
I think we need
to
figure out
pretty much only his skull found.
So. There needs to be a Kenny Rychek funeral. I'd like to see that happen.
There does. I would agree with that. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us tonight and going through these cases. And, just want to say, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight again so we can, cover these cases and bring some missing people home and get some answers on some unsolved homicides. I just pray that these flyers will reach the right people with the right hearts and will do the right thing and step up and reveal what they know so people can be brought home and cases can be solved and families can have some peace of mind of knowing where their relatives are. And until we see each other next week, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Have a good night, and amen.